Looks like we're live, are we?
Yeah, we're live. I'm just waiting for it to pop up onto the Facebook so I can see if we have any questions. That would be quite nice to be able to answer some questions live, eh? Oh, cool. Here we go. All right, now I'll just try and keep an eye. Hi, girls. I'll just try and keep an eye on those questions if I can when they pop up. So, welcome. So awesome to have you. This is Kat Soper, and she is a business and a training and coach. And just a specialist in all things business. So we've got Kat here tonight just to talk us through. We all know that everybody in business, not just us, everybody is in a bit of a pickle at the moment. And we've talked about pivoting, we've talked about getting ourselves out there more, and we've talked about lots of little different bits and pieces and aspects of business, but Kat tonight is going to give us some of her incredible expertise in business. So we're going to freestyle quite a bit tonight, and we're going to let Kat lead the way. So welcome and thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell us about. So do you go over under the Helpful
Academy?
Helpful Academy brand? Is that your?
Yeah, the Helpful Academy is my brand. And as part of that, I do one-to-one business strategy services. And then I've also got the online training centre. So it's basically your one-stop shop for affordable business training.
That's awesome. Amazing. Okay, so like I said, we've been talking a lot about, how we're pivoting our businesses at the moment. And, my girls are like, what do we do now? Like, in fact, not just my girls, everybody's like, what do we do now? So because we're talking a lot about the online presence and how to get yourself seen, what kind of advice would you give now to your clients on how to keep yourself really relevant and keep yourself out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think I've seen a lot of questions online, like, should I still be promoting my business and should I still be marketing my business? And there's been a lot of fear around putting themselves out there. And I think partly that's because we've also seen a lot of negativity. Really, unfortunately, we've seen a lot of negativity towards small business owners who have remained open. And so there's been that whole kind of conflict and unfairness. And so I can understand people's fear. But what I would say is that if you can still solve a problem for your audience, then absolutely you should still be showing up and solving that problem. The difference that we've got to kind of accept now is that we have to refine our message. So I think it's really important in all of our messaging to make sure that we're actually accepting this environment and mention it in all of our messaging. So the first thing I always encourage people to do is make sure that they've stopped any automated marketing, because often we pre-schedule and we like automate our marketing, and that's a real no-no at the moment, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're acknowledging the situation and making our message really I guess compassionate, and just showing up in a slightly different way. So I think the most important thing at the moment for people to be doing is to be showing up in a really genuine and authentic way and listening really carefully to the needs of your community. And if you are listening to your community, then you can then create and meet them where they're at, and answer their questions and help them with their problems. And that is the best way to kind of build the relationship and do relationship selling, which I think is the best kind of selling that there is.
So you say relationship selling. So obviously lending to the fact that you're actually going to still trying to be making money in this current climate.
Yes.
So it's not like I've heard a lot of don't try and sell right now, just try and make relationship and try and get a little bit closer and friendlier with your ideal client. But I haven't heard a lot of people say sell. So can you just expand on that a little bit? How does that look?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess it goes back to what I was saying before, in that if you can still solve a problem for someone right now with whatever your business does, then still show up and still sell and still solve that problem.
Mm.
There is a lot of fear around thinking that nobody's got money and people are not spending, and people, everybody's income's dropped. And yes, that is true to an extent, but there's definitely still a lot of people out there who are spending money.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to the type of problem that you solve, and meeting, again, what I was talking about, meeting your audience where they're at. So it's still selling, but it's potentially presenting the offer in a slightly different light. It's definitely not the hard sell, but it's more, I would say, conversational selling, and relationship selling is good right now. I guess a good example of this is actually a purchase that I made this week, and because relationship, as you talk about, like, now is a very good time to be building relationships with people. Absolutely. And building that community, but it doesn't mean that you should only be doing that and not doing any selling as well. Like, you definitely want to be doing that, but we do have to take quite a long-term view of this. And a couple of months ago, I met somebody in Auckland at an event that I was at and learned a bit about her business. And then this week I put out a call in a Facebook group that I'm at because I needed a product for my daughter, who just started her, I don't know if I could say, but she's just started her first period this week. Yep. And like, I had 10 or 12 or 15 people drop links, and at the time, it was really overwhelming because I just needed, like, I had a problem, I needed a solution, and I had 15 different options to choose from, all of, like, New Zealand owned businesses and things like that. So at the end of the day, I made the buying decision based on the fact that I had met this business owner, had a relationship with her, not of a consumer relationship at the time, but I actually just met her, and so she got my purchase. And I think that's what I would speak to, is just keeping that really long-term view of selling, and making that relationship so that when people are in a position to make that buying decision, you're at the top, you're the one that they come to.
Yeah, that's so good. So I love that so much. I've been watching a lot of the way sales are going online at the moment, and you can almost sense desperation in some people. So do you think that even though we are trying to still sell, do you think we should be lowering our expectations of our end of month target, or not even worrying about that at all? Do we just carry on with our same targets, or do we just go, take the fear out of yourself, just don't expect to have the same target, and still keep selling in a nice friendly way, rather than not that we were aggressive before, but and not in the same driving way that we used to?
And that's a really good question, because so many of us are grieving, right? Because our world has changed overnight, and we've all had these vision boards of what we could create in 2020, and they've just been ripped out from under us. So it's understandable that we're feeling in a place of fear, and in a place of grief. But it's really important that if we're feeling like that we need to kind of have a shift here, because if we go out and try and sell when we're in that place, it's going to be very obvious to people, and it's going to turn everybody off, and it's not going to end well for you. What I think the more successful approach is, as hard as it is, and I know, like, I get it, I'm a small business owner myself, and I have the same fear and grief as everybody else, so I totally get it. But if we focus outward on our community and helping them solve their problems, and we listen to them and what they need, and then it's like we create on demand, that's what creates success. And I had that in my own business since lockdown started, actually, because I had this grand plan of what I was going to do, and then of course the rug was pulled out from under me. And even though I knew that it wouldn't be an immediate revenue winner, I listened to my community, and I saw that they needed some help in how to work from home remotely. So I created some free courses, and I actually created a free Zoom course and a free Google Drive course, and they were so well received that I've had them shared time and time again. I've shared them myself to my community once on all of my platforms.
Wow.
And every day I'm getting new people registered to my online school because they're being organically shared. So I think it's really thinking about the needs of your community and being prepared to put some skin into the game yourself and meet them where they are and be generous with yourself where possible, to kind of create that relationship. Because now, as a result, I've had over 200 new members to my online school.
Oh, wow,
And they've started buying other courses because I've, proven that the results that they're getting, and I'm getting all of these reviews, and yeah, I have no doubt that it's really helped my brand, even though for a short time I made no money from it whatsoever.
So that's a really good point, and it sort of reiterates my question about should we be selling. And even though you've said yes, the sales will come out of it, they're just not the same immediate sales that we potentially would have had. But right now is so much to do with giving a lot of value, just giving a lot of value and a lot of time. And I am seeing that with I think it's almost the difference between the ones who sink and the ones who swim is the ones who are willing, like you said, to put their skin in the game.
Yeah.
I think, look, what have you got to lose? If you're not going to make sales anyway, unless you connect, then you need to connect. And how are you going to connect when you're asking for a sale? You need to be giving them, like you said, a solution.
I think it really depends on your type of business, because of course I'm a type of business that can continue to operate under level 4 lockdown, while I can essentially operate in exactly the same way because I work from home and have a completely virtual business. Realistically, the flow on effect to me is huge, and so overnight all of my clients stopped their services because they're affected. And so, like, even though I can technically operate, I'm not exempt. But if you are a type of business that can't trade right now, then it's a different kettle of fish. And so I know, and I've seen a lot of questions from people on, well, I can't ship right now, so what can I be doing? But I have seen a lot of retailers and a lot of, I guess, direct sellers really be still offering and still running fun promotions or fun educational things, and just community events type thing, even live sales. I've seen people live sales, and I participated in one myself over the weekend, and I spent like a bunch of money.
Wow.
Don't tell my husband, he can probably hear me, but
wondering what this is about.
Like it's still it's like people are still buying. And so even if you are on lockdown, don't let that stem your creativity into what you can do to make sales now. So all of those sales, of course, won't ship until after lockdown's finished. But I think we're getting close to that level 3 stage now. So it's thinking about what you can do to create that buzz. Because actually, I think people are wanting to buy, because even though their income's dropped, our expenses have, for the most part, dropped too. So there are people out there with some discretionary income who are looking for something to look forward to.
And honestly, people do they do buy what, like, you give them, what is it? You give them what they want and sell them what they need, or is it the opposite way around? Give them what they need and sell them what they want. It's one of those, but it's literally you give them enough value for them to make them feel like, oh, that would be so amazing. Yes, thank you. And just make them feel so connected. And then they're like, I want that. I really need that. It's a nice way to kind of cushion a sale in a way, and like you said, then they're also seeing the light at the end of the tunnel there. They're seeing that we've been in lockdown for this amount of time now, and we're probably only going to wait for our product for another week or so. If they can sort of negotiate that in their mind, they'll probably be quite keen on making a purchase around about now. Hey?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I recommend is that all businesses right now should be working out a promotion plan of some kind of like time frame. So typically when I work with businesses and we set up a promotion plan, it's for a 90-day period. Now, at the moment, that would just be ridiculous, because 90 days is such a long period of time when everything's changing daily. But there's no reason why you can't create like a 2-week plan or a 30-day plan and choose one of your products or product ranges and one of your services, and really create a focused plan to help drive revenue for that particular product or service. And in order to do that, you need to work out like really specifically who your target market is for that particular promotion. So your business will have a target market, of course, for your overall business, but you need to refine it more specifically when you're doing a promotion plan. And then you need to spend time thinking of a compelling offer and what kind of offer you could create where the value is just, it becomes a no-brainer for people to then, because they can see the value in it. And so it's almost like if you create a really successful, compelling offer, it does the selling for you. And then you can sell not from that place of fear and grief, but sell from that place of confidence, because you're really confident that this is going to help people and that it's meeting with them where they're at and that it's giving them a lot of value. And so that's what I would recommend that people work on right now. Setting a target. I do think, to answer your question, going back to your question before, I do think you need to refine your target and your expectations, and just be mindful, not maybe necessarily need to refine it, but just be mindful that if you don't hit it, then it's not like a failure of yours, if you know what I mean, just having that flexibility of mindset. But yeah, I would really recommend that all businesses go out there and create a promotion plan and create a compelling offer. And it's not necessarily about discounting, but it's thinking, okay, I've got this product and service. How can I create a package of value, whether that's adding bonuses or adding an extra product if they buy a certain amount, so that it's very enticing to people and it almost sells itself.
Yeah, awesome. Great ideas. I love your ideas. So probably something that with our girls, we could probably be, like you said, we can either be with the skincare, obviously we can be offering tutorials with some products, or some free tutorials, some free Zoom trainings even.
Yes, the training's a great one. One-on-one time is very appealing for people.
Yeah. And personally, because I've done a few of those this week, I've found what you talked about in the beginning about that relationship, kind of making friends with people, and then they kind of just, they favor you and they'll come to you because you spent that little bit of extra time with them and you made them feel connected to you. But then I think as well, you've got to have a genuine love for what you're doing, don't you? Because you can't fake, when you're making connections with people, you can't fake make connections. You've got to,
you can't
seriously love what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this moment in time while we're still in lockdown, people are looking for connection. So if you can even put together some parties which are virtual, and some kind of wine and cheese evening, and everybody's sitting there in their pajamas drinking wine and you're like teaching them to do something. I mean, I think that would be really appealing to people right now, because it's still a way of them connecting.
And you know what, actually, when it's almost been a blessing, dare I say it, it's almost been a blessing in disguise at this point. If it carries on another couple of months, I don't know if I'll feel that way, but because we've been forced to, that buzzword pivot, but because we've been forced to pivot and we're literally stuck with this online platform, gosh, we've had to be creative and savvy. And for people who have never used Zoom or never used online, sort of forums like this before, I mean, we are all learning some pretty cool things. And, those, maybe even if you only connect with 10 people over that whole time, they could be 10 customers who absolutely love, worship the ground you walk on after you spending that time with them, eh?
Yeah.
It just takes one of those people, like you said with your online coaching, to just tell somebody else, and then it's that ripple effect.
It's so true, and it can change in an instant. Last week, I have to confess, last week I was feeling a bit shit. I'd been working really, really hard, and that like nobody was buying and things were looking bleak, and when you just get tired, just everything looks worse than it is. And then it's like, after a rest, I came back with energy, but it's like everything started to flow because I had recapped my energy. And so now, like today, I had 2 emails from people. Well, you were one of them actually. You wanted to interview me, and I had another one wanting to share my course with his audience of 5,000. And then yesterday I had 3 insurance people share. So that was another audience of 1,000, which, so it just, everything changes in an instant.
Yeah.
You just have to create that plan, set those intentions, and really come from a place of looking outward and being caring rather than just focusing on your own position.
Yeah. So it really is definitely about giving value.
Yeah.
Kat, tell us a little bit about what we can find inside your training vault, so to speak. What is it that we're in there?
Yeah, well, we've currently got 17 courses live, including some free ones. So if you're wanting to be a real Zoom master and learn to, run parties by Zoom and Zoom with confidence, that's free. We've got a free Google Drive one as well, which is a great way of sharing files between people remotely. And then we've got a whole bunch of paid ones. So I do have a promotion planning course, which is the thing that I was just telling everybody that I think that they should focus on. I'm not just saying that because I have a course, but it is honestly the number one thing that you need to help you drive revenue in your business. So it's always the first course that I recommend for people to do. And we've got things like marketing, building a website, lead magnets, email nurture templates, all that kind of thing. In the next month, I would say that we'll have another 10 courses live. We're really working hard at the moment.
Wow. And do you also have a group that sort of facilitates the helping people through those courses, or is that at the moment, are the courses just pretty easy to work through?
The courses are all really short, quick win courses. So many of them can be done within an hour or 2. And they all have like really rapid transformations. Not all of them will be but most of them can be achieved in a day if you really concentrate on doing them in a day. So they're all kind of mini courses, and they're all full price under $250, but they start at $17. So there's like a really good affordable range. At the moment, they start at $9 or $8 because we've got 50% off store wide. So a great time. And we've had people over the last 2 weeks come try one of our free courses, then try one of our paid courses, and some of them are up to they've done 5.
Wow.
It's so cool. Wow. Like awesome action taking.
And so all you and so back to our last point about kind of creating the value for people, once you've created sort of that relationship with somebody, you've essentially brought them into your funnel.
Yeah.
Once they're in your funnel, they've tried one course. Wow, we love that one.
Yeah.
On to the next one and on to the next one. And then that's yay, that's you winning. Hey, and that's you winning just from being a nice, kind, genuine person giving lots of value. I love that. I love that. Okay, well, I think all of my girls and boys, if they're watching on YouTube, I don't know who's going to be seeing things on YouTube, but you should go and check Kat's website out, so you can tell us what that website is, and I will put some links up there as well.
The course platform website is courses.thehelpfulacademy.com.
Okay.
Or if you want the short version, you'll find all of our free resources and blogs at thehelpfulacademy.com. I do also have a free online business growth community on Facebook. So that's the Helpful Academy. Like on Facebook, you'll find the group if you search for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time tonight. It's honestly been so helpful, and I know that the girls are going to love it, even though I can't see comments, which I told you I probably wasn't going to be able to. But yeah, so actually I've just seen Brenda pop up. Hello. So we're going to leave it there, and thanks so much for coming. If we do have any questions, can we direct them on to you, or can they go online and find you as well? Put all the links.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time tonight. Really appreciate that.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.